and welcome back to another episode of Single in the City. I'm your host, Genesis Moore, along with my amazingly wonderful, beautiful, illustrious co-host, Mr. Justin C. Gilbert, and also Miss Tiara Berry. And look, we have been getting into some really great things this season, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And so I thought it'd be fun. Y'all know I like games and things like that.
Me too.
So I thought this would be fun if we did a Let Me Ask You Something game.
Let's go.
Okay.
What do y'all think?
I'm with it.
Let's do it. Okay.
Throw it at me.
So, for this Let Me Ask You Something game, we're just gonna start off with some questions.
Okay.
And I just kind of want to get you guys' brief feedback and opinion. You just give me a little reasoning and then we'll go from there.
All right.
Sounds good?
See where it takes us.
All right, so question number 1. Do you believe in twin flames? And do you know what the twin flame is?
Yeah,
Y'all
I
need
think we could explain to the audience a little bit about twin flames. So
Yeah.
the idea around the twin flame is there is someone out here in the world, in the universe, who is so much like you. They match your personality so much, who you are, what you believe in, that they are the exact person that you are, just in a different body, in a sense. So if you meet someone, to Pastor's point in a previous episode, if Eve came from Adam's rib, then and made from him, and we are supposed to be dating someone that's like Adam for women, then we would then be the twin flame of a man, just like Eve was Adam's twin flame in a sense. So is that possible? Is it true? Is there someone out here made for us that is similar to who we are?
Well, Justin, I'll let you go first.
That's interesting.
Throw it on the men.
It's an interesting concept. I guess what I think, do I believe in twin flames? It's a new concept to me. Okay, so it's very new to me. And I think that you can have, I do believe that you can have productive relationships with more than just one person in this world. So I'm, just mentioning that, just to kind of add the soulmate debate or soulmate caveat to the story. But twin flames, I'm not sold. I'm unsure.
Okay. I'd have to say, I think you can find somebody that's like your twin flame. And by twin flame, I mean someone that is like you guys kind of, the finish your sentence type of vibe, or even though you first met them, you feel like you've been knowing them your
whole
entire
life,
life, or like for years and years and years. You guys understand reasoning the same. You might have the same opinion about a popular public debate or a public, quarrel or something like that. I do think that, and I think also I think all relationships can be a mirror of either what you want to see in yourself or what is already there.
Yes.
And I think it comes from being a child. And, I read a book, I won't get too deep into it, but, about how as children, that's a part of our vanity, is having our way and seeing the world just through our eyes. And then when you get older, you do partner with someone that sees it very similar, if not identical to the way you see it. So I believe in twin flames. And, to Justin's point, I think that you can have multiple soulmate connections within one lifetime. I don't think it's just one person, that's just out there. And this goes back to what we talked about in season 1, where if you marry someone, is it someone that you choose, or is it just that it just naturally happens that way? And I think that it can go both ways.
Yeah.
But I do think love is definitely something that you choose.
I think that was a great way to put it. For me, I do believe in twin flames. I don't think that twin flames are always your soulmate. I think that there could be a distinction there. Some people try to merge the two, but I don't think that's always the case. I think you could have a twin flame in a platonic relationship. And I don't have siblings, but I assume that there are some siblings who, like you said, finish each other's sentences and they feel like they do life together better with each other. So I do see twin flames in that sense. But it can be dangerous to be in love with your twin flame. I can see how that can be an issue. Say you two are both twins when it comes to goals and being driven and being about getting things done and having careers. But then at some point, one twin flame with those same goals and drive says, I think I want children. And then you have to tell your twin flame, hey, I know we never discussed having children, but now I'm here. And your twin flame then doesn't understand that you would also want a family too. So
Yeah.
just because two people are so alike doesn't mean that they need to be together. And sometimes you need that yin yang attraction
The balance.
as well to balance out the wants and needs of the relationship.
Yeah.
Facts. I literally was just jotting notes about, would the twin flame be an ideal partner? Because, we cannot discredit the value of the differences of opinion that challenge our views and inspire us to grow.
Yeah.
So it's like you won't really have that rub, and that I think that's a necessary and vital component to growth and us becoming who God intended us to be.
I can see that. The only thing that I would add, though, is with the twin flame, I would just hope that as reflective as we are as people, we would have like that same thing in a twin flame. Where that person would be able to be like, maybe they've grown in that area quicker than we have.
Okay.
But, or maybe we've grown in that area a little bit faster than they have. And then we'd be able to kind of, I think, shrink the learning curve on certain things, Hopefully that's how I would imagine a twin flame being, but I ain't found mine yet, so we'll see.
Interesting.
Oh.
Interesting.
I can't say that I have found or not found, I guess it's my twin flame in a partner, but I've definitely found it in a lot of my platonic relationships.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like me and my mom are sometimes twin flames.
Yeah.
And then also times I think we're very opposite too.
Yeah.
So it's like some things we hit the nail on exactly. And I think that's with everyone. Everybody is still individual, but I think it's a good conversation to have. Like, if twin flames do exist, should you try to be with that person if you find them in a partner specifically? Because there could be issues out perfectly. You just don't know. It's a gamble, right?
Super gamble.
Yeah,
Super
well,
gamble.
that's pretty interesting. Okay, so next question, guys. So the next one is, describe the best physical touch that best communicates I love you. What is it that somebody does? What's that physical touch that's just like, ooh, I love you. You my person.
Even though I have braids right now, I love when somebody plays in my hair.
Okay.
Like, I think, like, while I'm, like, laying down in the bed and somebody massages my scalp, I'll be like, ooh, oh, thank you.
Oh, that's good. That's cute.
Me
I like
too.
when somebody reaches for my hand to
Uh-huh.
hold my hand.
Okay.
And I feel like, where we going? I'm going to take your hand. Wherever you want to go, I'll go. Like, I'll take your hand. Those are my favorite off the top.
Okay. Off top, I would say I love when a woman plays in my hair as well. And I love foot rubs. And I appreciate those little touches, like, you know what I'm saying, when you're in the kitchen, somebody walk up behind you, just graze your back. Just that
Oh, yeah.
I'm here, just that connectivity. I love that stuff.
Okay.
What you like?
This is a little rough because I don't like to be touched like that, I guess.
So your love language is not physical touch.
No. I'd be like, can you wash your hands first before we hold them? That's me. I know, I'm a little weird, but if I did have to say something, I would say when somebody rubs my stomach. I know that's so weird, right?
Okay.
But it's like, my mom used to do that when I was a kid. Like, okay, like one of those little things. And I like that. So
That's cool.
I go there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like forehead kisses a lot too.
Oh,
I
that's
feel like
good.
that's very old school in a way, but
Yeah.
like I like a forehead kiss. Like somebody on their way out the door, be like, all right, I'm leaving for the day. I'll be like,
I like the forehead kisses too.
bye.
I like kisses.
Yeah,
I like kisses. Maybe that's a thing.
that is.
Appreciate a good kiss.
Yeah.
A little peck or a little. mwah.
All right. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for playing a little bit of. Let me ask you something. We will be right back after these quick messages.
Well, look, you might not be popular, but my favorite character is Celestial because
One of the quotes that I wrote down in the book that kind of stood out to me was, "Love is the enemy of sound judgment."
She seemed like a very needy woman. And I can't even respect Andre because how do you prey on your friend's wife while he's incarcerated? Like, I just can't get with that. And maybe I got too invested in the book, that
Part-time job, full-time hustle, all-time Shiro to all of us. You nurture, we listen. You teach, we thrive. You lift our spirits, but we've got to lay down the truth. It's time for you, our Shiro, to stretch for the stars. A free online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Start saving more for retirement so you can feel prepared and live your life to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Nice.
Welcome back to Single in the City. I am Justin C. Gilbert, joined by my beautiful co-hosts, Miss Tiara Berry and Genesis Moore.
I'll never get tired of that.
You know what I'm saying?
Never.
So today we're talking about questions. We're asking questions and getting feedback and reading the room and learning the room.
We're learning each other still, right?
So this segment is a continuation of our first.
Yep.
Let me ask you something.
Let me ask you something. All right, well, guys, I want to ask y'all this. What is something you used to believe about relationships that you no longer do? I know that's a fully loaded, right?
That's a lot.
That is. I guess the notion of Prince Charming. I don't think I don't believe in that anymore. Where it's just like somebody just comes in your life, they whisk you off your feet, and then you just like go happily ever after. Although I really do, would like to hope that it would happen that way. I don't believe in it happening that way for me any longer. I think now the idea of Prince Charming is shown over time.
Yeah.
Not like just in a moment, or not something that you're just like, okay, it's here today and then gone tomorrow. Or they started off good, but now they, evolved into somebody else while we were dating. But, so I would say the idea of Prince Charming. What about you, Justin?
I'd say something that I used to believe about relationships, but no longer do. I'd say I used to think that everyone deserves to be in one. I used to think that there was, you hear all this, there's someone for everyone. However, I think that's dismissive of the fact that some people are not healed. Some people are not putting any effort into themselves and making themselves a good candidate for a relationship. So I don't think those people should be with anyone, but that it's neither here nor there. But that is what I thought, that everyone deserves to be in one, but they really don't.
Yeah, I like that.
What about you, T?
I think something I used to believe about relationships is if you try really hard to make something work, it'll work.
Yeah. That was a
it
really
sounds
good
like
one.
it would work, right?
They gotta come around.
Yeah, if and that's for both people too, because both people could be like trying really, really hard to make something work, and it's just the piece of that puzzle just doesn't fit anymore. And I think that's something I had to learn, that sometimes it's okay to bow out and say we tried and it just didn't work. And I still have love for you. I still respect you. It's just in this lifetime, we're not meant to be. And I think that was something I had to learn.
That's okay though.
Yeah.
I think that's a part of like growth and evolution as well. It's like you just really start to learn, like not everybody is for you.
Right.
And then as you grow, not everybody's meant to grow with you. So I love that.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta know when it's time to move on, right?
Yeah, I love how we all said the same thing, but like in 3 different ways.
Yeah.
Did I kind of pick up on that? In a sense?
I kind of see what you mean.
I can see that, yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, I think that is, I wonder if that's just like the general foundation of like getting older and being in relationships. It's like you just realize it's different strokes for different folks.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the point that we are all making is sometimes in our lives, relationships are a big part of it, but they're not always the focal point.
Yeah.
It's okay for you to be in a season where you're not meant to be with somebody right now.
That's right.
It's okay to
Yes.
not be waiting on Prince Charming. And it's also okay to know when it's time to let go and walk away. And I think that's a reason why sometimes being single has a negative connotation, but it's also a very enlightening moment to be single and sit in that and find ourselves and also understand what we want and what we don't want in relationships.
The self-awareness.
Yeah.
Honestly,
love
you
that.
can't really get the best out of a relationship or anything in life unless you're willing to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a job or anything, if you don't have the intestinal fortitude to say, I don't need this, or I'll be fine without this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it. Then you won't really show up fully. You won't be authentic because there's a fear there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a sign of fear. So if you're not willing to walk, you really not showing up all the way. If
Yeah.
you
Oh, I
scared
love
of
that.
something.
And codependency is
Come on.
something that keeps people in relationships way
Okay.
longer than they
Man.
need
That's
to
the
be.
word right there,
Those
codependency.
attachments,
Phew.
that's a whole nother episode.
Ooh, talk
I'm telling
about it. Well, guys, I do want to switch gears for a moment here. So follow me. I have another question for this. Let me ask you something.
Okay.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
I want to know, what's something non-sexual that you find attractive about another person?
What you got, Genesis?
Ooh, that's a very loaded question.
That's good.
Non-sexual.
Mhm.
So I have a shallow answer and then I'll give a deep one.
I think I'm going to do that too.
So I don't want to be shallow, too shallow, but I like how a man smells. That
Not
is
shallow at
like,
all.
whew, you got
Okay.
that, I don't know. I just got a thing. I feel like scents take you back to moments in time.
Yes.
So it's like, like if they smell good, it's like one of those things where it's like, that's very attractive to me.
Okay.
If I had to say something deep, I would say a real desire to get to know me on a deeper level and like really see me as for who I am and where I'm going and understanding my vision. I feel like that's something that's not physical, but if you get the sense, you know when a man is like trying to just get to know you just to kind of put you in his box, or if he's like really trying to like get to know like who is TR, like what does that look like? Like let me try to understand like how her mind works, stuff like that. That's something that I find very attractive.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have
What
one?
about you, Justin?
I think one of the most attractive things a woman can do is anticipate my need. So once she gets a good feel for how I am, how I move, how I rock, what I like, to kind of jump in there and surprise me with the thing that I already needed. You know what I'm saying? That shows a level of attention to details and a level of investment
Yeah.
that I really appreciate. And I think when I'm given that, I show up as my best self because I know this person is into me.
I like
Oh,
it.
I like that. I like that.
a lot. Aw.
That was a really good. I knew Justin was gonna give a deep
Aw,
answer.
I know.
I'm deep like that.
You
Just deep.
are.
Trying to think what I like that's shallow. Nice haircut,
Okay, come on.
some pretty teeth,
That
no
Beijing and them
plaque,
pearly
stuff like that. I'm hearing you got an appointment every 6 months for a cleaning to get your teeth cleaned.
That's-
I love that. Ooh,
That's where it's at.
Good
fellas.
hygiene.
good
where it's
hygiene
at.
all around. But on another note, a little bit deeper, I like a man that checks on me.
Okay.
Like calling me to say, hey, how was your day? Or what did you eat today? Or like, have you talked to your mom? How's the family? How's things? How was work? And wanting to know from start to finish about my day at work. How was so-and-so acting? Even the people I know he probably doesn't even care about, but because I'm mentioning them and what happens at work matters to me, or so what are your plans for this weekend? Or you going out tonight? What y'all gonna do? Where y'all gonna go? I love that just genuine interest in my day, what's going on, in my mental health. Like, how are you feeling?
Facts.
Are you good up there? Like, no loose screws today, type of thing. I think that's really attractive. And I think that someone who cares it builds for the long term.
Okay.
Because they can get a sense of who you are. I think that's what you were mentioning. And they can also anticipate, what they need to do to make you happy based off of the current experiences that you're facing in your life. So they can figure out how to add to it. Or I know on this day she has this meeting at work and it's a lot on her. So let me order her flowers on this day specifically. Or she has this big thing coming up. Or she was talking about her birthday and what she wants to do. So let me plan this trip. Or, things like that. I love that genuine concern and care.
That's dope.
Okay, you like for someone to be like up on you, like they in the mix. They're not missing a beat about tea.
Yes.
That's yeah. See, that's
pay
another thing.
attention.
Everybody is so different because I don't know how I would respond to that. But when you talked about it, I was just like, sounds very nice. It's very beautiful. Yeah. Like I should try that one day.
It's only not cool if you're not into the guy, right? Is that how that works?
Well, you see, I mean,
Then
yeah.
it becomes a little stalkerish.
Because then it's like, how long you trying to be on the phone? Why? Everything was fine. Everything's peachy cream.
Yeah. I can't imagine them knowing all that information about you unless you told them. So
Right.
Okay,
right.
true.
if you didn't, that's a bigger
Yikes.
issue.
Yeah.
I don't know, just for me.
And a man that keeps that interest consistently too, because I think a lot of times guys in those what phase you in the building phase, they be talking a lot of good talk, want to know how you doing with your life. But if they can do that through the courtship and through that decision phase, I think that's even more attractive because as I evolve and grow, you should want to learn how my mind is changing, and I like that a lot.
I agree. That's
I love
dope.
that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Okay.
These are interesting. These are real eye openers.
I know.
agree.
I'm learning so much about you guys.
I know, and everything. Okay, guys, well, look, we're going to stop it right there, but we will be right back with more Single in the City.
Every discipline starts with creating a habit. Find a plan that works for you. I know you can put a reminder in your phone, call so-and-so in 30 days. You can't use the excuse that, I'm an introvert or I'm an extrovert. Stuff people like to say. Nah, if you're not outgoing, right, you better get going because that's the only way networking works.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro.
Are you finding that people are truthful online more or maybe not so much?
There's a lot of filters that women have. There's a lot of things that you really don't know that person until you actually meet them in person.
So in other words, you guys are being catfish.
Definitely.
Well, guys, we are still playing a little game of let me ask you something.
Yeah.
So we've been learning a lot about each other. Hopefully you've been learning a lot about us as well and enjoying the conversation. So, Justin, I believe it's your turn. Ask me some.
Okay. Would you rather be loved, respected, or admired?
Loved, respected, or admired?
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather be loved. And this is by my significant other, right?
I think kind of let's go
We
bigger.
could do overall and
Yeah.
maybe narrow it in.
I'd probably still pick love.
No.
Loved, respected, or admired?
If it's like it just depends on where. You got to put it in one spot in my life because you need different things from different people.
I like that.
So
I like that though.
It can't be like for everybody. That ain't gonna work.
Okay.
Romance. Let's start with romance.
Let's go.
Okay, with romance, loved, and if it's like, in a work position, respected,
Okay.
And if it's from, an entertainment perspective, like with our viewers, hopefully admired, loved and admired, but I think for my significant other, it would most definitely be loved because I think for me, how a man would show his love would be with his respect and his admiration for me, as opposed to, oh, I respect you, but I don't really love you. It's like, I mean, then what am I, your mom? Or like your drill sergeant? Like, what's happening here?
Right.
Right. Yeah. Am I your? It just doesn't make me feel like I would be like, in a relationship that I would see as a good fit for me. So I would say loved with a significant other.
Got you. What do you think, Tiara?
I'm torn in between the two. I like being respected. I carry myself with a lot of self-respect, so I like for people to have a lot of respect for me. But I think that softer, more feminine side of me that isn't so alpha wants to be loved.
Oh, the Pisces side.
Maybe.
Was she really a Capricorn?
Right. I know the Capricorn in me say money, power, respect. But I can definitely feel myself, especially getting a little bit more softer in life, appreciating feeling loved. Okay. Admire too. But I do think that the respect that people have for you can keep them to do things or hold you in a high regard, even when emotionally they might not love you so much right now.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta get people to do
so
stuff.
as long as I know he might feel some type of way, but he ain't gonna act crazy because he respects me. But if he only loved me, then sometimes you see those toxic relationships where Bobby and Whitney loved each other. But it was a lot of things within the relationship that show that if respect was there for themselves, for each other, things could have went differently.
True.
You hear a lot about a variety of different kinds of abuse, not only physical, but mental, and all these things in a relationship. And a lot of times, both partners who could be in those situations say, I know he loves me, or that's why I try to figure it out because there's so much love still there. And I think it's a thin line between love and hate. And sometimes when you grapple with those things, it could be, ooh.
That's very true.
But as long as you have respect for someone, there's some things that you will and will not do. So.
I absolutely agree. I think that's a perfect segue because it's respect for me. I think that's my first time ever saying for me after something. It's respect for me. It's not bad.
He'll say it again.
But no, all right.
It's the end of the season.
All right, I'm sorry.
It's giving respect.
Thanks. Yo, so, but like that respect, just as a human being, as a father, I love how you talked about how people will refrain from doing certain things just out of a level of respect and wanting to stay in high regards with you. And I have a great deal of respect for myself and everyone. Everyone starts with a full glass of respect for me. You know what I'm saying? You know, their actions kind of determine if that stays full or if that kind of
goes down.
Yeah. But everyone starts that way with me. So I definitely appreciate the respect. And I could never truly feel loved if the respect wasn't in place.
I agree. I think I view love though as kind of like the umbrella.
Yeah.
And then like, everything else underneath.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay.
Love.
Respect,
admiration,
I see you.
Consideration. It's just all underneath the umbrella of love.
That's cool.
It's what you put under your umbrella.
She's such an optimist, right, guys? I love it. I love it.
That's
So
good.
I have another question.
Shoot.
Since we playing, let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
For all my city girls watching, tuning in,
Let's go. Oh, I
Is
said
that
that.
you?
we'll see.
Listening.
I want to know, in today's age, as of 2022, how much does a man have to make to be with you?
Go ahead, young Southside. Go ahead.
Ooh, I don't like that. In the words of my homegirl, Young Miami. I don't like that. I don't like that question. But I don't know. Okay, so how much does a man have to make in order to be with me?
Yeah. And okay, if you don't give a dollar sign, give me a ballpark of the expectations that will show a certain status to make it work with you.
Come on, go ahead.
Okay, so I don't put a money sign on love and the people that I deal with. Okay?
Okay.
Now, I'll say this. I saw somebody say this on Instagram, and I was like, that is exactly how you say it. But, you know, I will say the men with money, they just come to me. I didn't tell them to do that, you know? Like, I didn't.
You attracted.
They
Law of attraction.
It is what it is, you know? Money just finds me. It finds me in a room, in a corner, in a dark place
Amen.
at church, anywhere, you know? But I will say, so I say, but I think that is reflective of how I carry myself. And then also that, you know, I'm an open person and I don't quantify people just based off of how much they make. So, but I do like things, you know, that a guy has is nice. It's a nice car. That's always a plus.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
How we riding?
And I can always, I'll say it like this, I can always tell what kind of guy I'm dealing with based off where he takes me to eat on our first date.
Okay.
So if he takes me to Outback Steakhouse or Applebee's, ain't nothing wrong with Applebee's and Outback Steakhouse now, but okay, maybe I don't really like to eat there like that. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like to eat there like that.
Okay.
But you know, I like a little bit more of places that have craft cocktail menus or something like that, or you know, a sea bass on the menu or something. So I do look at it from that way, but I don't say like he has to make $100,000 because he can make $100,000 but have $90,000 in bills and then we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
We're Netflix and chilling.
So what if he makes
30,000
Yeah.
a year.
Yep.
I don't mind that.
Okay.
It depends on how he's spending his money.
Uh-huh.
But I will say that I do think that it would be hard for him to keep up with me
Okay.
because
And
Yeah.
I would like to piggyback off of that one for my answer because it's not necessarily you have to.
I love it.
You have to make as much as I make, but I do think that the conversations are easier about what we're doing and where we're going if we don't feel like we're at odds in terms of our finances individually. Like I want to be able to go out to eat and I order whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, don't even ask me to go out to eat if I can't get whatever on the menu.
Right.
Because why would you ask me
To go.
to go?
You're setting yourself up at that point.
Exactly. So when I think about how much exactly a man has to make, I don't have like exact dollar amount.
Yeah.
I think about, okay, where are you in your life at the time? If you are making $30,000 because you got a part-time job at H&M, but you in law school,
Yeah.
or you in dental school,
Yeah, that's different.
that's different.
This is interesting. This is
But
interesting.
if you're 40-something, and I'm not dating any 40-somethings, be clear. But if you're 40-something and
Nothing wrong with the 40
nothing wrong with them, I'm just not dating them. If you're doing that, if you're that age and you trying to rap in your mama's basement,
You and this rapper. Who did this to you?
it's Atlanta. It's a lot of.
Oh,
We've all talked to
y'all.
Can you listen to my mixtape? I've had all of it. And I am not in a phase or space in my life where I am currently listening to mixtapes for men.
Okay.
That's not what God has. I believe that's not what God has for me in this season.
Okay.
So with that being said, a man doesn't have to make a certain dollar amount, but his goals and his aspirations have to somewhat align with where I am right now.
Boy, y'all.
And that's comfortable.
Y'all skating, boy. That's it. Boy.
And I mean dancing.
Phew.
Dancing.
Y'all are tiptoeing around this question like, I mean, go ahead. Carry the one. Pim does. Like, show us what we're talking about so the men can know.
Okay, I'll put it like this. Because I don't know. $100,000 in Atlanta is different than $100,000 somewhere else.
Facts.
You get what I'm saying?
Facts.
So it's all about where you are, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Location.
And it depends on your location, okay? It depends on also how you spend your money.
Facts.
Do you spend your money? Are you driving? Do you make $100,000 a year, but you driving a $75,000 car? That don't make sense to me. So that showed me right there that we already not going gel on this. And then you driving it to an apartment where you pay rent and you don't own your house or something like that. That's not going to really gel with me. So I'm not going to put a number on it, but I'm going to just tell you certain situations. Like, you know, if we go out and okay, I'm going to put like this. I do like to see what kind of card you going to pay with.
Okay.
I want to see it. I'm paying attention.
So cash out card.
What if it's debit?
Huh?
What if so if it's debit, any debit, or like if you pull out a Chime?
I mean,
no offense to Chime. We love your
Chill,
sponsors.
yeah.
We would love your sponsorship, Chime.
I'm
But
not-
I'm just saying, if you pull out Chime.
I'm not dogging on no cards, but I'm just telling you right now. It's like, you know, a debit card, cool, a Chime, whatever, where you have cash.
Yeah.
I could tell if it's somewhere, this is the hard cash in there, if we're paying with credit, right? And then if you're paying with credit, what kind of credit card is it? I do pay attention to stuff like that. I'm not saying that that disqualifies you, but I'm saying that I do pay attention to that, you know? I could tell, you know, when you pull out that platinum card, that's say a little something different than when you pull out a Chime card. And that's just real. That's just the hierarchy of credit cards. Am I tripping?
No, you're absolutely right.
Okay.
You ain't wrong.
That American Express talk different.
They do. Amex. So you say no to Appleback.
Applebee's.
Applebee's and Outback combined, the whole conglomerate.
No, I'm just, I only think, and I don't want to sound like I'm over here. Please, people, don't think that I'm over here saying, like, you know, I'm just over here on some extra bougie stuff. But I'm going to be honest with you, though. It's, since you asked me the question, I got to just give it to you straight.
I think that's great.
And I don't expect, you know, especially a guy that's my age or maybe like a little older or younger, something like that. I don't put expectations on them on things that I can't do for myself or I don't have already in pocket myself, right? I think that's a big thing.
Facts.
Because it'd be a lot of girls out here that be like, are you going, you know, it's time for me to get flued out. But it's like, girl, if you couldn't afford to go on a vacation yourself, should you really be going with this man?
There it is.
And I think, too, the same way we have those standards, I can see a guy now in this day and age having some type of standards for how much he would want a woman to make so that way he doesn't feel pressure to do everything for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like my woman to be kept up. So her hair done, nails done, eyebrow, you know, all those things, that's a bill for her every month.
Yeah.
And if he's not there to always like cover that, is she still gonna keep up with those things? You know what I'm saying? So I think that I can see how men could be like, well, if I'm making this amount, I don't want to always feel the pressure to take care of someone, especially who's not my wife.
Yes.
So I can see how men can also have a standard too of how much a woman should make, so he doesn't feel like he's in a gold digging situation.
Or because it's like, it's not like you're going up to people and being like, how much money you make?
Right.
What? No.
Yeah,
I'm not telling you.
Right.
Ever, you know? Like, but it is one of those things where it's like how you carry it.
Yeah.
So I could look at a girl, you know, and it's even some people out here on Instagram and they be like, oh, they got design of this, all this type of stuff. And I just look like, it looked like she liked to spend a lot of money and she got a lot of bills.
Yep.
And if I was a man, I probably wouldn't want to be in that situation because if anything goes south, who's she gonna be looking at? Me.
Yep.
You know? But that's what
real.
I think if I were a man. So I don't try to give that off. But you know, I'm you know, black people out here doing things a little different. We cultured these days. We've been places. We got, a little more on us. So I don't think it's anything wrong with knowing.
Take me on a trip.
Yeah. But
I got the excursion.
Let's do it.
Y'all
I'll
are
go on a trip
amazing.
with you, boo. Come on.
Okay, let's do it. 'Cause
right.
I don't know if these men make enough money for us to even take it.
Justin still ain't said what they need to make either, but
Yeah.
What the men need to make?
to date, since you paying for the dates,
Right.
what is your opinion?
Or what is a definition of success that you think a man should have in order to be courting women?
I would say having his percentages together in terms of like not paying more than 30% of his monthly salary for his abode, just small little details like that.
Yeah.
Like for retirement, just stuff like this. Like you need to be in a position where if a pandemic happens, you can manage your bills
Yeah.
with, not your whole month's income. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe a week or a little bit of a second week. That's ideal. And then that man has the flexibility to enjoy himself and also save up for later so that he's comfortable. But, different strokes for different folks. But
Still skating.
I think a man could do well for himself. It's interesting because a lot is relative.
Right.
Yeah. So where you are.
I don't think
It is very
$200,000 is a lot of money.
I don't either.
Right. Yeah, me neither.
So, but it's a good start to
It's a
having a
great
comfortable
start
life
for me.
and being able to date comfortably
Yeah.
and prepare for your future. And that's all I have to say about that.
Well, that's good,
Okay.
ladies. He's got the prayer, and he
got the
don't
prayer,
think
and he got
$200,000
the-
is a lot of money, girl.
Right. So he could afford the wedding, it sound like.
That $27,000 on average, huh?
Possibly a flu out, get her flued out occasionally.
Oh.
We like to be flued out.
Okay, we're going.
That's a mess.
We love it.
Well, y'all, I guess it's time for us to fly on up out of here.
We will see y'all next week for another episode of Single in the City. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Truly enjoyed it. Truly enjoyed you two as always.
Always.
I'm your host, Tiara Berry, here with Justin C. Gilbert, Genesis Moore, and we will see you next time on Single in the City.
You're my lucky strike. Love the way you ride. Look into my eyes, yeah, you're ready to go. $1 million life, yeah. We could roll the dice. I like you surprised, but you already know. You're my lucky strike.